Hi, welcome to my video on horizontal translation on sine theta. Horizontal translation is denoted by HT, horizontal translation. Let's look at the equation y equals sine of theta minus h. The horizontal translation is the opposite of h. So negative h, so we'll make it an h. So if you have, let's look at these equations here, and we have y equals sine of theta minus 90. So h is 90, opposite of negative 90 is 90. So the horizontal translation is 90 degrees. And this one has theta plus 180, and the opposite is 180 degrees, so the horizontal translation is a minus 180. And note that it's moved 90 right. The horizontal translation is left and right, so this is the sine graph moved 90 degrees to the right for each point on the graph, and here it moved 180 to the left because it's negative. And in this one, the opposite of negative 60 degrees is 60 degrees. So the horizontal translation is 60 degrees plus 60, so it's to the right. And this one is negative 270 degrees. And the horizontal translation is 270 degrees to the left. And just note also, opposite, if you take the 90 and sub in place of theta, 90 minus 90 is 0. So the sine of 0 is 0. So this is also what we call the starting point. Here, if you put a negative 180 in the place of theta, you get a 0. So the sine of theta is 0. And 60 minus 60 is 0, so the sine of 0 is 0. Again, notice the opposite. And the mapping rule for the horizontal translation on y equals the sine of theta minus h. So it's theta, number of degrees or radians, and we have a y, so the horizontal translation is affecting the x, so it's a theta, and that's, notice, minus h, so it's a plus h, and the y, notice the y doesn't change. So let's look at number 1 up here, and h is 90, so the y, theta, comma y is for the y equals sine theta, so this one is y equals sine theta, the basic graph, and so this is a 90, so it's theta plus 90 degrees, and the y didn't change. This one is a minus 180, so it's theta minus 180 y, and this one, number 3, is 60, so it's theta plus 60 degrees, and we have y, and this one is a minus 270, so theta minus 270 degrees y. So notice theta going to theta plus 90, you're adding 90 on, so it's moving 90 degrees to the right. You're subtracting 180, so it's moving to the left 180. Here you're adding on 60 to theta, so it's moving to the right 60. And this one is a minus 270, so it's going to the left. Let's continue. Now let's do a graph based on, let me straighten up the sheet, sorry for that. And we have graph each using the mapping rule for the horizontal translation. So we have theta and h, theta and y, I should say. So the mapping rule is theta plus h, and we have y has not changed, so we're adding on the horizontal translation. So in A, sine of theta minus 180, h is the opposite, is 180, so the horizontal translation is 180 degrees. So the mapping rule is theta, comma y, and we have 180, so it's theta plus 180, comma, y. So the basic equation, let's look at y equals sine theta. We have theta, and we have sine theta, or we have the y. So we have a 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270, 360. And so the sine of 0 is a 0, the sine of 90 is 1, the sine of 180 is 0, the sine of 270 is negative 1, and the sine of 360 is back to 0. So it's translated, so this is theta plus 180 degrees, and this is y, or just sine theta. There's no change. So now, when we put these values in, so that's a 0 added onto this, so this becomes 180. And we put a 90 in, we get 270. 180 plus 180 is 360. And 270 plus 180 is 450. And 360 plus 180 is 540 degrees. And there's no change on the y. So we get a 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So let's graph this one, which is this equation here. And this is 360. So this is 180 in the middle. This is a 90, and that's 270. So at 180, we have 180. The y is 0. Right there. And at 270, y is 1. 360, y is 0. 360, y is 0. 450 is right here, and y is negative 1. And at 540, y is 0. So that's the sine graph. And this keeps on going on and on and on. So notice it's 0. We go down to negative 1. We come back up to 0. We go up to 1. And this continues on and on and on. It's periodic. It repeats itself. The period is, it repeats itself 360 degrees. So if we leave here and make one sideways S, 180 to 540, 180 to 540, subtract, you get 360 degrees, one complete S. So a sine graph is a sideways S. Now let's look at another one. Y equals the sine of theta plus 90. So H is a minus 90. Means it's going to move 90 degrees to the left. So the horizontal translation is a minus 90, 90 degrees to the left. Mapping rule, theta and y. So now it's theta minus 90, comma y. And again, the basic table of values for y equals sine theta, which is this one here. We got 0, 90, 180, 270, 360 degrees. They're all degrees. And we have the sine of 0, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So now we have the theta minus 90 and the y. So theta minus 90, so we have a 0 minus 0 minus 90 is negative 90. 90 minus 90 is 0. And 90, or sorry, should I say 180 minus 90 is 90. 270 minus 90 is 180. And 360 minus 90 is 270. So notice we're subtracting 90. This is minus 90, 0. So we're taking off 90 degrees from each of these. So it makes it move. So again, just to check, put a 0 in here, we get negative 90. Put 90 here, we get 0. 180 in here, we get 90. So it's moved 90 to the right. So notice we're adding on. This goes up by 90s. So if you just add 90 onto this, once you get the pattern, you have it. And the y is not changing because 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So negative 90, you get a 0, so that's 270. That's a negative 180. There's a negative 90 right here. So negative 90, we got a 0. Sorry, negative 90, we have a 0. At 0, we have a 1. 90, we have a 0. 180, we have negative 1. 270, we have a 0. So it's sideways S, like this. And notice, compared to the basic one, it would start here and move, so it's moved, all the points are moved 90 degrees left. And the period on this one, start on sideways S, start here until you get an S. There's the S. So from negative 90 to 270 is 360 degrees. So that's the horizontal translation, reviewing the horizontal translation. And if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information from me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video was of some help to you. Bye-bye.